Hey everyone, welcome back to some new malicious compliance stories. I hope you had a great day. If you would like to help me grow this channel, please press the like button, it really helps in the algorithm. And if you haven't already, why don't you make this the video that you subscribe to the channel? And with that out of the way, let's start with the first story. The first story is called New Policy Backfires Hard. I just left a meeting with my company's higher ups and they are in full-blown panic mode. I'm finding it hard not to let out a giant, I told you so. My company operates on a quarterly schedule, 4 quarters, each lasting 3 months. March ended the first quarter, April started the second quarter. And we just got the numbers for April's performance. As part of the perks, we offer a quarterly bonus, but you qualify monthly by meeting metrics for the month. To clarify, you can earn a bonus each month, but it's awarded at the end of each quarter as a lump sum. The metrics you have to meet are for additional supplemental tasks in addition to our core function. So you do the extra work, you earn the extra pay, simple concept. The thing is, these additional services are options that our clients contractually buy into. So if we don't provide these additional services at a certain percentage, we have to refund our clients, which can easily reach into 7 figures. So back in February, our leadership team has a meeting to discuss how we are doing. We got the typical corporate, we need to increase X and do more Y. A part of this is them wanting to increase usage of our supplementary products. The standout never miss an opportunity to upsell nonsense. The suit's idea is to increase metrics for the bonus, essentially making the employees work harder. I argued that I know where my weak spots are, I can address them and increase performance through direct interaction and coaching. And no, we were not failing at the current goal, the suits just wanted more for less. They ended up shutting me down, they don't want to devote additional time to coaching and training. No coaching allowed, no nothing, hands off. Hold the employees accountable. If they want a bonus, they will make it happen. Fine, you are the boss, hands off. So I did just that. I stopped all communication, programs and coaching regarding that specific metric. Any goals or communication about it comes directly from the suits. Everything else is business as usual. A few days later, an email goes out from the suits and the goal is increased by 15%, which is a huge deal. The goal was previously 30%, they increased it to 45%. The thing is, meeting this goal was already a huge pain that interferes with our core function. It wasn't unrealistic, but you definitely have to earn it. The increase made it borderline unrealistic. If only someone would have said something. To make it even better, the bonus included roughly 10 other metrics that are mostly afterthoughts. But if you miss one metric, you are ineligible. Guess what happens? The frontline employees are overwhelmingly demotivated. I get the numbers back for April and not only did that one metric bottom out, but so did every other metric tied into the bonus. Almost nothing was done the entire month other than our core function. And I can't blame them. I bust my back and put in the effort for no reason. The suits are furious because they know who is to blame and they have 2 more months of this. They can't just haphazardly change the goalpost in the middle of the quarter, the damage has already been done. They might have saved a few labor hours and a few dollars on bonus payouts. But at the end of the quarter, they are estimating the payout to our clients to be over 3 million a month for failing to provide contracted services. Something completely preventable. The next story is called Senior Employees on the Hook for This. This didn't happen to me, but to a colleague, promoted to duty manager of the supermarket I worked in, but was on holiday from for 2 weeks. It's a small town and we are the only supermarket for miles, thereby we are inundated with people buying alcohol, with some of it for people under 18 years. In the UK, it's against the law to knowingly do so. At the time this occurred, the assistant making the sale could be fined up to £1,000 and the store could lose its license to sell alcohol. As always with retail, you're taking it from both sides, the customers and the company. Local police and councillors announced a crackdown on underage drinking, a good thing, by fining the parents, by fining the stores. The company decides to boost morale by backing its staff by making the most senior staff member culpable for any mishaps with disciplinary action and possibly the sack. News of this happens whilst I'm on holiday. My friend was recently promoted to a very senior duty manager to close down and lock up the store on an evening when alcohol sales are at their highest. He pushes back against the new rule, obviously stating how unfair it is and that there should be training for staff, extra signage to warn customers and such. But nothing came from this. So he makes signs to put in the store. The head office didn't like it and demands they be taken down. So he demands to change his hours so that he's not responsible. Again, nothing. I got a text on the Friday evening from another colleague to say at the start of his shift he closed the store. No alcohol sales means no chance of being out. Since those in charge were tucked up in bed, the news didn't hit them until the Monday morning after the store had closed at 6 PM instead of 10 PM for 3 days running. I arrived back in fresh on the Monday morning to hear he'd been summoned up to head office for a meeting and had taken the union rep up with him. He left a few months later. The store had increased signage warning of underage drinking and all the staff received training. The last story is called Just the Way It Is. I work in a highly competitive business-to-business sales role with a consulting firm. The services and products I'm responsible for are complex with many layers of detail that can make it challenging to navigate through each deal. We are highly regulated and have some legal compliance requirements on what source of funding a client is permitted to use towards certain services being purchased. In short, there are things our clients need that have to be paid for on a fee basis instead of commission offsets. I'm a 15-year veteran of this industry. I know the rules well and have never violated our legal compliance regulations. My team knows this, and in fact, none of my deals last year were commission-based by design. I'm the kind of person who believes in doing good work, contributing effectively and being a constructive team member. It's not in my nature to ride the wave and just collect a paycheck. Last year, only my second year on this team, I ended up more than doubling my sales goal for my region and actually hit the overall national goal for the team. My counterparts had a rough year, and so I was proud to have contributed so that we as a team made our numbers. Unfortunately, when it came down to it, even though leadership said they value my efforts and appreciate my results, I got paid less than I did in the year prior when I just barely hit my goal. Long story short, when I questioned my bonus pay being short, I was told that's just the way it is. In doing some research and pulling records, I found that my deals over the last 2.5 years of being on this team are the most profitable. They also have some of the highest client satisfaction rating this team has ever had. I'm proud of that, but I don't flaunt it to the team or to leadership. I like for my work to speak for itself rather than me parading it around. Our team is small, with only 8 of us, yet we have 2 national leaders assigned to us, one of which is painful to work with at best. Larry was given this position by his best friend, who sits at a higher level in the company, and unfortunately, Larry isn't very capable of being a good leader. He is quick to spout off, is rude to the team, tightly wound, and all around just not a pleasant person. Being in a sales role, it's my job to close deals and drive revenue. Larry doesn't seem to understand that. At times he has said things to me like, "You just want to do this for the sale, don't you?" And when I say yes, because that is my job, he says, "Well, I'm looking for every possible reason to tell you no." This isn't the best way to deal with sales executive and motivate new production. Just the opposite. Instead of helping think through possibilities and creative solutions, Larry likes to shut things down and puff his chest to prove he knows best. And it's not that I'm afraid of being told no. It's the way he does it before even taking a moment to understand the scenario before interrupting and spouting off. It's a fight with Larry every single time, and it's exhausting. On top of that, he is always asking me to do more, to take on more tasks and responsibilities, because the others on this team are either already overwhelmed or aren't capable. I feel like Larry tries to exploit my work ethic and results. It's deflating to be treated like this, and combined with the terrible way pay has been managed, I'm at the point where I'm done being an overachiever. By the end of the first quarter this year, I was already hitting 40% of our overall revenue goal and over 70% of my personal goal. I've decided to go on cruise control for the remainder of the year. After all, that is just the way it is. It's been a rough couple of years working with Larry, and I'm over it. Enter the malicious compliance part of the story. I've been working on a deal for about a year now, and the client has some complex requirements we are trying to solve. I have a solution, but it is just slightly outside of the revenue parameters that I'm authorized to approve on my own. We have a standing weekly meeting with Larry and the others where we talk about strategy and any deal where we need special approval. Prior to the meeting, I put together a very thorough financial analysis, everything Larry would need to evaluate the request and make an informed decision. It's a 6-figure annual deal on a multi-year contract that will generate some nice revenue for our team. My ask is for a one-time concession of less than $3,000 outside my permission limits, and is the difference between closing the deal or losing it to the competition. The math is simple, and it's in the best interest of my company and for my team for us to win this one. Effectively, it's $1,000 per year for us to gain $120,000 per year. Should be an easy decision. So comes the day of the weekly meeting with Larry and the team. When it's my turn, I start outlining my deal and setting the financial foundation for my request and all of the services included. This is important per the legal compliance words noted above. Before I can even finish, Larry decides to spout off, interrupt me mid-sentence and just says, "No, you can't do that." He had a tone that echoed throughout the rest of the team. I let things go silent for a few seconds. At this point, I'm so done with Larry's garbage that I just said, "Okay, that's all I have for today." And then I hand the meeting over to the next presenter, Paul. Larry chimes back in, "You can't use commissions to cover that expense, that's against compliance rules." I know, if you would have let me finish, you would understand that this is not a commission deal. I have structured this on a fee basis, specifically to avoid that. No worries though, I understand, and I tell the client that they will have to find the extra $3,000 because we aren't willing to work with them. Larry made some rambling onto a sidetrack about compliance that isn't relevant to my request and the financial decision. Thanks for sharing that. But my point isn't to question compliance. I'm well aware and uphold those requirements on all of my deals. This is in compliance. My ask is for a $3,000 concession to close this deal. That's the long and short of it, and is what I'm asking you to either approve or deny. I've discussed with the client all of the other considerations from a legal perspective, and they understand. This is about beating a competing offer, nothing more. Well, you have to decide if you want to write the business bad enough or not. At this point, I have no motivation to sell this deal, and since Larry said it's my decision, okay, I've pretty well decided it's not worth it, so I let them know we couldn't get it approved. I wouldn't want to cut our profits on the deal. I'm already a year into this negotiation, so I'm going to let it ride out. Larry was silent after this. Okay Paul, over to you now. Thanks Larry. The meeting continues, and when we wrap up, I hear from Larry again. Hey, where's the financial analysis on the client? I want to look it over and see what margin we will make. It's in the folder where we always save them, and it's filed according to the procedure as always. No need for any further analysis though, I've already told the client and waiting to hear their response. I'll keep you posted, thanks. Wow, I just pulled up the files. These numbers look great. Plenty of margin in the deal, how'd you get to those figures? That's what I was hoping to explain earlier. I'm sure you saw my deals from last year too, and I'm just doing the same thing again this year. But all good, I'm on to the next one now, have a good afternoon. Okay, let me know if I can help. Admittedly, this last interaction with Larry, I was feeling salty. I'm over his behavior, and quite frankly, I don't care if I sell another deal this year or not. It has been proven that I'm not going to get rewarded for going above and beyond, so why put in any more effort than I have to? At my current pace, I managed to hit the goal for the year without having to work too hard at it. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is struggling, and for the most part aren't tracking to hit the goal. I'm not going to be the pack mule this year, someone else can carry that torch. My time is better spent shopping my resume out to see what else is out there. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye bye.